Hello everybody and welcome to a new kit build. Today we're going to be building this very old kit from Adafruit, the MiniPov 3. I think there are much newer editions of this that don't use serial, but I happen to have one of these lying around, so I decided I'd throw it together real quick. Just as a side note, there have been some comments regarding the focus on the videos using my new camera. I'm aware of the issue. I'm taking steps to fix it. While the GoPro is a fantastic camera for action, they didn't actually put an active focus lens in it. So it's got a fixed focus, which works great for everything outside of about 2 feet. So I've gone ahead and I've ordered an external lens kit for this, which will allow me to do macro photography, so you'll get much higher quality and not quite so blurry footage here in the near future. This should actually be the last blurry video, so I just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. So today I did some prep work with a new toy I got. This is a little lead bender. You use it to neatly and quickly bend the leads of components when you are putting them on a board like this one. Now, what I did was I just took this little plastic doohickey and I put it against the board, and I looked at the spacing of the holes and I discovered that 0.45 was the setting. And then you just take your component, you sock it into the appropriate section there, and you fold the leads down, and there you've got a rather nicely and neatly folded leads that will go right into the board. I'll include a link to this in the description below if I remember. If I don't, yell at me in the comments and I'll make sure I update it with the link. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to get the iron turned on, so that's going to bring itself up to temperature, and we'll go ahead and start with the resistors. We've got 2 sets of resistors. We've got these guys, which are brown, black, brown, so that's a 1, a 0, and 1, 0, so 100 ohms. And then we've got these guys, which are... I wonder if... Where did that magnifying glass go? I wonder if we can make it so you guys... Oh, make it so you guys can see that. I can't really tell if that's going to show very well in the video, but I'll see after post-processing. But for this one, we've got yellow, violet, red. So 4, 7, and then 2 zeros. So 4.7k ohms. Then we've got a handful of LEDs, some 5.6 volt Zener diodes here, and I'll put a card up here for my video about Zener diodes. And then we've got some structural components and the microcontroller here, which is an ATtiny 2313 that came pre-programmed from Adafruit. Anyway, let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and start throwing these resistors on. So the 100 ohm resistors are going to go into positions R1 through R9. They are very clearly going to be the current limiting resistors for the LEDs. This is a persistence of vision kit, which means that it flashes the LEDs in such a way that when you wave this back and forth, it displays a message using persistence of vision. Now, I actually don't have a means of programming this at the moment. You'll need a USB to serial adapter for most modern computers because people don't use serial ports anymore and they don't come on computers. So my laptop is not equipped with a serial port, so I'll have to wait until I get a USB to serial adapter to demonstrate the programming and usage of this device. But for today, we're just going to quickly solder it together. As we normally do in these kit build videos, I'll chat randomly and sporadically about random stuff that comes to mind. But today we'll just throw these resistors on. Oh, I very clearly did that one in the wrong slot, because that one was way too wide. But that's okay. So R7. Oh, I think I did this one in the wrong slot on the lead bender as well. Get in there. There we go. Okay. And I appear to be missing a 100 ohm resistor. As I'm supposed to have 8 of them. 2, 4, 6, 8. Did I? R1 through R9. R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8. Oh, that would be a typo on the website. Oh, we'll have to draw their attention to that. So I'm looking at the board here. There is no R9 position on the board. So, never mind. All right, and these 4.7k ohm resistors are R10, 11, and 12. So we'll go ahead and pop these into their positions, like so. R10. R11. And R12 right here. Right, and that's probably starting to get a little messy on the back with all the leads sticking through, so we're going to go ahead and begin soldering these all together. There we go. Little porcupine mess sticking out of the back there. Oh, heck, that's the end of my solder here. So much for my pre-preparation. I didn't get my solder prepared. There we go. Alright, so I'm actually reasonably pleased with how nicely those are sitting. So I'm not going to bother doing my normal thing where I just solder down one lead on the resistor and then make sure it's sitting nice and flush to the board. Because it seems like my new little toy, lead bender toy there, makes them sit quite nicely. Nice tool when one is feeling lazy, I guess. Although I suppose in a way it doesn't really reduce the amount of work, it just changes where you're doing the work. Because one way or another you're going to have to make sure that the resistors sit nice, so either you have to take that extra step sitting them down on the board flush like I normally do in my other videos, or you take a few minutes with the lead bender and arrange them that way. Anyway, I'm just gonna quickly dab on the solder. Working fairly efficiently here, despite the big mess of leads that we're going to have to crop off shortly. There we go. Yeah, so the shipping information on that lens that I ordered says it should be here by the 27th. This video is being recorded on the 20th, so it's going to be a week. And I've got some content backlogged that I can upload in the meanwhile, aside from this video, naturally. Where did my thingy go? There it is. Just a dollar store copper scrubby pad. Does a brilliant job of cleaning off the tip of your soldering iron there. They're terrible for doing dishes, but they're really great for using as a solder sponge. An interesting dichotomy there, because the reason why they're not great for dishes is because they rust, because they're just steel coated with copper, which Doesn't bother the soldering iron none for the purposes of cleaning solder, but when it comes to doing dishes, they have a tendency to rust and leave rust stains in your sink. So the dollar store scrubbies are bad for dishes, but great for soldering. And then conversely, the expensive copper soldering pads that you can acquire for soldering are great for dishes and great for soldering. So it's kind of a weird thing there. Anywho, let's try not to ping leads all over the place and not burn ourselves on the soldering iron at the same time. So we're just gonna polish these off. Might hear Felix talking in the background. That's one of the cats that lives here. So very magnanimously shares his living space with us. Anyway, so there's the resistors down, and let's see, I'm 11 minutes in. I normally try to cut these segments down to 15, but I decided ahead of time that I was going to do it in, we're going to do the resistors, and then we're going to do the diodes, and then we're going to do the structural stuff. So we're going to make this a three-parter. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Give me a like, ask questions in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's really important now because of the new monetization changes that YouTube does, and they're now forcing me to beg for subscribers again. I hate doing that, but here we are. Anyway, I'll put a link to subscribe right here, a video that YouTube thinks you like here, and I'll put the playlist for this series right here. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.